Sands resident Scott Mattis, your manager, coming with you a weekly update. This should be pretty quick. I just wanted to give you a heads up on a couple things. If you didn't make coffee and donuts this week, the acoustics in the Oasis Hall is being evaluated over the last few months, and we're in the process of trying to find a way to, on the off season, fix that problem. So we're going to be doing that, but we don't want to shut down the Oasis Hall because of it would take some time to construct, and we don't want you to be inconvenienced until after the season's over. But the Warners came up with an idea through the resident committee that we could string a wire across the center of the Oasis Hall, and you could hang flags from your countries, your native countries, your favorite sports teams. But there's a flyer at the office, and if you have any questions, Jim Warner at Space 95 would be happy to explain the program to you and what you could do to donate a flag for this program. We're hoping that it'll help a little bit with the acoustics, and it'll be some pride in the community. So join that program if you can. I had a resident that was very concerned about bikes being in the buildings. We have brand new carpeting, brand new flooring, and people are bringing their bikes into the building. I understand that theft could be a problem, but we prefer that you buy a lock and use the bike racks outside of the buildings if you could. That would be appreciated. Lighting outside, we've now fixed the street lights on the Bubbling Wells side, and we put some new lighting up at the corner of Bubbling Wells and Dillon Road. And we put some new lighting out in front of the new monument sign. So if you haven't seen the new signage, all the new signage is up, and there's quite a bit more lighting out there. So the front of the resort is actually lit up a lot better. On the inside of the resort, we're still working on some dark spots, but we're getting a lot of our lighting up and fixing it and making sure it works correctly and making sure the timers are working correctly. So that was some of our issues, but keeping the place safe. Last night at happy hour, there was a gentleman that was walking through the resort that did not fit the description of a normal resident here. He was a tall, Hispanic, younger man, and he came into the pool area during happy hour. I want to say thank you to all my staff that was here last night, the team members. They jumped into action. They did run into him or walked up to him and questioned why he was here. At that time, Pam Voss came running over to the office to notify me. I was still on property at 5 o'clock. And exactly that same time that this gentleman was walking through the property, leaving this property, the van that we have on tape that stole Tim Williams' bike was in the parking lot being questioned by our Ranger Patrol at our vehicle checkpoint. They had him pull off to the side. As soon as I walked out, I recognized the license plate, and I pointed at him to stop the van, and he took off outside the resort. When he left the resort, I jumped in my car and I followed him up Bubbling Wells. He tried to get into Hidden Springs. He does this thing where he reaches out like he's pushing buttons, but he's not really doing that. We have him on tape doing it here. And so I pulled up as close as I could to get a good description of him, license plate, vehicle description while I was on with 911. Followed him up to the other gate at Hidden Springs and on the Yerxa side, and he sat there for a few minutes staring me down as I stayed back far enough on 911 with 911. He turned around, took back down Yerxa. I followed him again, and he took off on the service road into the desert. At that time, I thought I'd lost him. I wasn't going to take my car out there. As I was speaking to the dispatcher, giving a better description, I drove my car around to Mountain View and to see if he came out that side. As I was driving up Mountain View, I spotted him at the mobile home park on Mountain View just before the big hill, which goes into Desert Hot Springs. Two sheriff deputies were on the spot. They walked up to the vehicle and found him hiding in the bushes. This is great news for us because that van's been a big problem here. Not only did he steal Tim Williams' bike that morning with whoever was in the car with him, but he's been back in the park multiple times since then, and we just have not been able to catch him or stop him. The sheriff deputy said that they were going to see if there was a way to arrest him. They did put him back in the car, and they said if they did not get in contact with me to sign a trespassing report, that he would probably most likely be going to jail. Sheriff's Department did not contact me, so I'm assuming he went to jail. The van was being towed because it was out of registration for over a year, and that was one of the reasons they were having problems finding it. But either way, that van is off our radar. But with that said, doesn't mean when he gets out of jail that he won't come back here again. He sees us as a very easy target. Hopefully we've scared him enough that he won't. The younger Hispanic guy that was here, that was being chased out at the same time, I have him on tape. At 3:15 this morning, our courtesy patrol actually saw him and described him the same as what I have on tape. And I'm going to go back and look and see what's on the video and see if it is him. But they described a transient Hispanic 6-foot younger man with a plaid shirt on, which is the same as this gentleman that we were chasing out at that same time. So please be aware that there is somebody else jumping the fences in multiple areas and trying to get into the park. And please make sure your belongings are locked and safe until we can catch this gentleman. But I want to say kudos again to all my staff. They really stepped up. This Ranger checkpoint seems to be working, and our courtesy patrol in the evening seems to be working really well. So with that said, I'm going to move on to electric issues. We've been having a lot of individuals come in with their electric bill and say it seems high. I am doing an analysis. It is random through the park. There is one section that seems to be clustered, but the rest of it's random. Please understand that so far on my research, I've found that the tiers have changed on your electric rates, and the rates have gone higher with Southern California Edison, and you've been given a lower base rate to use each day. This is all going to be factored into my full report at the resident meeting on your electrical bills. I'm not sure if it's an electrical issue, so I've actually hired an electrician and at an hourly cost to actually go to these sites. So if you're concerned, it is going to cost me an hourly cost to check your electric, but if you have a valid concern about your electric being higher than usual, I will have them check your pedestal and the wires coming into your pedestal. I recently had somebody posting on Facebook. It doesn't help us to post on Facebook that you're having high electrical costs and not notifying us. You should come to the office and notify our guest services staff that you're having an issue with your electrical pedestal, and I will get to it. We have 507 spaces, so it will take some time to get around. We do have some bad meters every once in a while. We change those out. But most of our meters in certain areas are certified, and they're good for 10 years. You'll see a sticker on your meter that is certified by the Riverside County Department of Agricultural, and it is our weights and measurements, sorry. And so if that's the case, we'll give more of a detailed report at the resident meeting. Lead me into the resident meeting, which is February 7th. That'll be next Thursday at 3 p.m. in the San Jacinto room. If you have any questions, that'll be a great day to sit there and get into details. We'll be detailing our security plan, our electrical issues, and some of the other things that are very concerning to our residents. Have a great day. It's supposed to rain this weekend, so be safe out there.